All right, going to take a quick break. When we come back, Thanksgiving just a few days away, and with all that, the holiday stress is right around the corner.
And we will talk to a local psychologist about ways to deal with that coming up after the break.
And as we go to break,
all right, we are back with Dr. Corey Gonzalez, a licensed clinical psychologist this morning, talking about all the holiday stress that is right around the corner. People thinking, I got to buy the turkey, got to buy gifts, I got to do all this stuff. And it's a lot. This year, especially with the economy on a lot of people's minds.
Season's greetings, Kiyoshi.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there certainly are. There's family, there's economic and medical things that we've talked about in the past, and the same this year. When we talk about the family issues, we're talking about if you have unresolved issues toward family members, unresolved abuse or neglect, it can be a tough time and a challenging time. If you've had a loss in the family, someone's died in the last year or two, it can be really difficult sitting down at that holiday dinner as well. If you've had more marriages or divorces, you have blended family issues, and it brings on its own unique set of stressors as far as sharing your loved ones with people. And then the whole stress of traveling is difficult as well. So, and then economically, it's difficult because we're overextending ourselves with all this travel and celebration going on and gifts. Sometimes we get caught up in those standards of, commercial America, and we forget what the season's really about. And medical, we have something called seasonal affective disorder we've talked about before. Some people are more prone to depression when there's a lack of sunlight. And at the same time with all the celebrating, we overindulge in too much food and alcohol and cause some health problems. And more specifically this year, we have the swine flu. So got that going on as well.
It's compounding things. I mean, you talk about the economy. People are going to expecting to spend less this year. I mean, I heard the figure was somewhere around $800 is what the average consumer is supposed to spend this year. But you have that swine flu. I mean, there are people out there who are actively worried about getting sick. You see hand sanitizers all over the place. So what are some of the tips you have in order to kind of reduce the stress levels and the worries?
Well, for the family issues, try to work these things out before you get to the family holiday dinner table if you can. Try to work them out beforehand. There's the family's needs, the group's needs, and there's individual needs. Keep your eye on the ball and remember the family's needs. Try not to get into too many taboo topics at the dinner table if you can. Don't bait your uncle about the whole political talk and so forth. And try not to regress. Try not to get in these old parent-child conflicts or sibling rivalries if you can. And if you've had a lost loved one during this past year or more recently, have a ritual to acknowledge that lost loved one with a prayer or a toast. Some kind of ritual, acknowledge that they're gone. And if you're, for the economic issues, I think it's really important that you budget, and we maybe draw names so you don't have the onus of buying for everybody during this time, and try to remember the real reason for the holiday season is spending time together, doing things together, and giving of yourself. And getting out of yourself is good as well. And for the medical stuff, if the seasonal affective disorder, if you find you're more prone to it, try to kick up the exercise. Maybe get to LA and get a little bit more sun exposure. And if your symptoms go on for more than 2 weeks, talk to your doctor. Of course, the celebrating, be mindful of what you're putting in your body as far as the food and the alcohol so you don't do your body any harm. And the swine flu stuff, just educate yourself about it, communicate with people, know who has it, so you can talk about these things and try to minimize catching or spreading the swine flu. And also having that hand sanitizer around is a good idea.
Yeah, just kind of peace of mind. And we talked earlier as well about the Hoffman Hospice organization having Light the Night, the tree event that's coming up later this week, where they're going to light a tree, and you basically purchase a white candle to remember a loved one. And you were just talking about that. It's a good way to kind of remember someone, and it's an important thing to do this holiday season.
Absolutely. Oh, they're gone physically. They're not gone emotionally and spiritually. It's very important.
And weighs on a lot of people's minds. Dr. Corey Gonzalez in with us this morning talking about holiday stress. Hopefully people take a heart to some of those tips and reduce the amount of stress they have this year.
Always a pleasure, Kiyoshi.
Always good to have you in. We'll take another quick break here this morning, and after that we'll be right back.